My name is Matt Weichert. I am a senior consultant here at Shipware. Today, I will be talking through the FedEx and UPS 2021 general rate increase announcements. Now that we have both of them, FedEx announced it first back in October, and then just a few weeks ago, UPS announced their general rate increase. Now we can kind of have a comparison between the two of them. So we'll start off going over the base rate comparison, just kind of looking generally, slicing it up both by service and weight group, and then also by service and zone, so we can get a visual look at that. From there, we'll go into the surcharge increases themselves, see how FedEx and UPS compare in that perspective. Then we'll highlight some of the changes that have happened in the surcharges, some new surcharges, as well as changes in the way surcharges are assessed. And then we'll wrap it up with a conclusion and kind of a so what. So looking at the overall base rate comparison, it is really interesting. UPS and FedEx are in lockstep here and almost at a cell by cell way. If you look at any one of these services from zones 2 through 8, 1 to 150 pounds, nearly every single one is the same. There are a few small base point differences in a few sections, but really at an overall view, not a whole lot to be said here. So you can see just side by side with UPS and FedEx, in each one the exact same. The difference that you see here on the ground residential home delivery side, that is entirely coming from the residential surcharge, which we'll see in a few slides here. But overall, the increases themselves are almost the exact same. And we can see that here when we look at service versus weight group. Spot the difference, and please do let me know if you see one, because it is really not there. You can see here the same theme across both. The low weight ground is a target, and then the higher zone on the express side, and then of course 2-day AM has the biggest increase there. I'm sorry, the zones we'll talk about in a second here. But as far as the weight groupings go, we see the lower weight groupings being targeted primarily on the ground, and then also that express saver, that 3-day service. Again, these are the most used services, and so it makes perfect sense. Now, looking at the zone that we talked about, we see the higher zones on express going up. Again, almost the exact same across both. The overall average of 4.9% is the same, and then the areas within each service, each weight group, and each zone is almost the exact same increases. You can see some very subtle differences here, but really almost the exact same. For a second, I thought that something was wrong in our comparison files when I was going through it, because I mean, literally cell by cell, the same. When we look at the minimums are something that we really want to make sure we look at. They're very, very influential in the overall package cost or overall shipping cost that a shipper uses, because this is really where the rubber meets the road a lot of the time for contractual discount versus effective discount. This is where those minimums really make a big difference. And so we want to make sure we're looking at the zone 2 1 pound base rate for each service. And when we look at those here, again, in absolute lockstep from a percentage increase perspective. However, when we look at the dollar amounts, dollars and cents right there, we can see that UPS has the higher minimum, not by a ton, by about 33 cents here, 30 cents, 20 cents. Here on 3-day air, FedEx has a much more significant expensive on the minimum side for 3-day. And so that's again, the red cells are where they're higher. From a percentage standpoint, almost the exact same. We see a little bit of difference here on standard overnight. But that gives you the minimum comparison look. When we look at the surcharges themselves, another example of lockstep. Exact same dollars and cents, exact same percentages on almost all of these. The ones that you see highlighted in red here are where there was a difference. So UPS's rate here on additional handling for packaging is higher at $15.25. However, last year it was only $15. So this is a very small increase on the UPS side. FedEx is playing catch up in this realm. They're still less than UPS on the additional handling package, but they bumped up by a lot more there. The other notable increase that I found here was on the residential side, which is what I mentioned when we looked at the ground residential rates. So we see UPS has taken a steeper percentage increase here, but they're staying ahead of FedEx on the express and ground residential surcharge. And then on home delivery, that is what you see there for FedEx. When we look at the actual additions and changes in the surcharges, there were a few notable things here. On the FedEx side, they added a 6% late payment fee that did not exist before this announcement. Additional handling, length plus girth. So for additional handling, we talked about this a little bit when I did my presentation on the UPS GRI. The length plus girth is a new characteristic now that can be charged on additional handling for dimensions. So they didn't used to have this. Now if the length plus girth is more than 105, it will be receiving additional handling. And then FedEx also made some changes in their DAS zips, which I'll give a high level summary on this next slide. On the UPS side of things, pretty similar as far as the additional handling focus. I'll start here. The additional handling measurement, length plus girth, UPS decided FedEx had a great idea with that and decided to do the same thing. Additionally, on the UPS side, they lowered their additional handling just on pure weight qualification. They lowered that down to 50 pounds from 70 pounds. That's pretty significant. And certain shippers that are right around that 50+ pound range are now going to be experiencing quite a big increase as they hit an additional handling charge on every single one of those. As a reminder, additional handling is $15 to $25 more per package. So something to look out for there. The other interesting one on the UPS side is that they have announced they will be doing zone-based additional handling and large package surcharge pricing. They have still not released details on this yet. That will be effective on January 10th, so I have to think they will be releasing something about that soon. However, they've announced other peak surcharges and things like that only a week before the effective date, so more to come there. And then UPS also made their changes to the DAS zips, which we'll see here. Again, nothing really groundbreaking as far as huge differences between them. We've seen most on the net, more have been added to DAS, which really isn't a huge surprise. It's more things that they can charge for. Some did get removed from the contiguous US list on both sides. But however, most of them either moved from contiguous extended, they moved from DAS extended to normal DAS, or they had a few added to DAS that you see here. I'm still working on getting a geographical view of this. I think it'll be a little bit more interesting, but just so you know, there are, somewhere north of 1,000 zip codes that are newly going to have extra charges associated with them. From a shipping perspective, there's really nothing to be done about this because it's coded by the zip code. If you want to send a package there, you will get it. However, contractually, this is something that we can really hone in on and make a bigger impact by negotiating discounts there. And to kind of wrap things up, I made a little Venn diagram just to kind of see what's going on across both carriers. So the main differences you see here are the effective dates. It's not by a lot, it's only by about a week, but FedEx will be effective in January, whereas UPS is at the end of December. Again, FedEx has that 6% late payment fee. The zone-based pricing on additional handling and large package surcharge is unique to UPS. And then as far as the minimums go on UPS, the next day air saver, and 2-day air minimums are higher, whereas for FedEx, the 3-day air minimum is higher. And then the similarities are really more overwhelming than the differences. They're both a 4.9% average. They both have the same kind of concentrated areas of increase. Again, those are the low weight ground and 3-day air packages, and then the higher zone express packages. Both announced changes in the DAS zip codes, and they both have the exact same ground minimums and sell for sell the exact same prices on all ground commercial. The main difference on the ground side is on the residential surcharge.